Hi everybody, it's Sandy here, and it's time for the new moon rose reading. And this is the last new moon of 2018, and it's a new moon in Sagittarius, and it brings us the opportunities once again to explore what's now come to its completion in our journey this year. I've spoken before of the fact that this year has been, in my sense, a real year of alchemy. And hi Ashley, hi Jonathan. And so for many of us, it's had an intensity to it, and it's also given us the opportunity of reflecting, reviewing, and diving deeper into our own soul connection and our soul alignment here in our earthly journey. What have we come here to clear, to polish this diamond of the heart, and to be able to share our insights and our gifts out in the world. A new moon traditionally is, you know, a new opportunity, a new beginning, and I see these new and full moons as pulse points in our evolutionary cycle. What can we bring to a closure, and what are we willing to open ourselves up to next? So as we come to this closing, this last new moon of 2018, you know, what has been your journey? What's been your experience? And what needs now to be let go of at yet another level in order to be ready to welcome these energies for 2019, which I really feel are going to be a very, very different experience for us. Hi Sass, hi Anna. Hi Phyllis. This is a really potent window of opportunity that we are in at this point, and the energies as I tune into them for 2019 are going to take us on a different journey. It's going to be a very different experience. So what is it now that can be brought to closure or to culmination? That, hi Roberta, that is going to help us. It's going to ease us into these new frequencies for next year. What I do know is that we have come to travel lighter and lighter in our journey, and that whatever we have had as our pathway to mastery, there is a calling now to let go of anything that doesn't allow us to say fully yes to life. Hi Katie. This place of you know, wherever there is any residual trauma, any residual emotional wounding, is a place where we will stay in contraction to life as opposed to really opening up to life. And this place of opening up to life is what allows for life to flow with us, to us, and for us. So the more graceful the place that we find ourselves in, the more graceful and ease that we find in our relationships, in our being able to show up for ourselves, and to what life can bring and offer us now in our pathway forward. So today I'm going to spend much more time working with the roses, working with the rose energies, and let's see where the roses want to take us in their wisdom for this new moon energy. So are you drawn to rose card 1? Are you drawn to rose card 2? Or are you drawn to rose card 3? It's always fascinating for me when I sit quietly before I start to do the readings, as to what actually comes up, what comes to show the as an energy signature, as an energy code for this particular time. This is you know, the roses are just pure love codes. They don't have any other agenda. They are only here as illuminators for anything that on our path that isn't frequencing completely to the energy of love. So they will give us pointers and insights as to what needs to be viewed, if you like. I see, yes, there's lots of lists. So there's a variety of 1, 2s and 3s. So these places of invitations, I see them as invitations to explore any remaining memories or issues that we've got in any particular area. But of course they all work together as a coding that we can take forward for us. And as any of you that have got the Rose Oracle that work with the Rose frequencies, I've said before that, you know, you can use these and put a glass of water on them and actually make almost a rose essence as such. But certainly Ashley, who's on the call, makes moon water, what she calls moon water, charged on the energies of the roses, that sort of really add to this potency and the transformation that's possible. Hi Chris, hi Vicky. Yeah, it's like these are moon water, Ashley's saying, and you know, this is another way of us working with this water and the working with the rose codes that allow us to have grace and ease in our pathway forward. So if you were drawn to Rose card 1, she is Rose Angel 2. Now the Rose Angels are these 5 energies that work as transformers for the 5 wounds to love. I'm actually going to put a light on here. I'm not too sure how much light you can see on the cards, but so this one is the one that talks to us about surrender. And I was reflecting on this energy of surrender as I'm going to put her up in there so you can see her really clearly. Just a beautiful rose, and I mean, she's got this luminous white purity around the outside of her, and yet there's this pink gold that is flowing from her. Now the rose angels sit in the different chakras of the body, the different energy centers in the body, and they are transformers for these 5 wounds to love of abandonment, betrayal, denial, judgment, and separation. And they transform to the jewels of self-love, self-value, self-esteem, of trust, of truth, of forgiveness, and of surrender. This rose sits on the crown chakra, and you can see her almost dispensing these beautiful rose codes of light. And this pink gold is really the essence of the heart field for me. This is the energy that comes when the polarities of the white and the red rose are woven together, so that you move to this frequency of pink. But when the pink is activated, I'm going to put it back down here, when the pink is activated, so the heart field lights. And so when the heart field lights, it turns to gold. I know many of you actually work with the violet flame. And the violet flame, from an esoteric perspective, when this travels through the body and it turns to the heart field, it turns to gold. So many of the master teachers work through the frequencies of violet and gold, and that really activates and supercharges the heart field. So when we're looking at this, you know, this place of surrender, you know, surrender isn't a passivity. Surrendering is understanding that there is a bigger picture at play, and there is a bigger place in which, if we look with symbolic sight and we look and see what is we are experiencing in our external world, it is mirroring back to us any places that need refining, any places where we already have that place of mastery. When we see joyous connections, when we see doors opening, we know that there is an alignment and a truth that is coming through from surrendering to the ego self and surrendering to allow for the divine wisdom to be an activating force for us. The journey with the roses is about clearing this, to be a conduit, clearing as above so below, so that we are a conduit of divine light that is embraced and embodied in this physical form, which is made of the earth. So everything in our physical bodies is actually made of the substance of the earth, and it's animated and activated and houses and is the vehicle for our divine self. This rose is saying open to the flow. If you chose rose 1, you know, just open to the flow, open to the fact that there is a bigger picture. And when things don't go quite as you imagine they should do, trust that there is a bigger picture at play here, that there is a greater wisdom in the tapestry of life. It never ceases to amaze me that there must be an amazing weaver somewhere who is orchestrating the frequency alignments of our journey, which is just extraordinary. Excuse me, there is somebody at my door. And there was a surrendering to flow of the fact that I live in the most remote place that you could imagine, and there was somebody at my door, and it was my neighbours 2 doors down, who I've never met, inviting me to a Christmas party. And this is extraordinary. So actually it's just perfect in the flow, because most of my journey in the last 5 years has been in a very isolated situation, although I have been surrounded by houses and people. I had a journey where neighbours on either side of me found me invisible to the degree that neither of them even acknowledged my presence. So after 5 years in living in a house, I left without even a goodbye from either of my neighbours. And I have moved into this place which in theory is far, far more remote, and I had assumed when I moved here that I would be in quite an isolated place, which was one of the fear pieces that gave resistance for me in saying yes to this place. And my neighbours are amazing, absolutely amazing. So anyway, I digress. But yeah, this place. So she's showing me, just in the same way that she's sharing with you, this place of trusting, surrendering to the to the guidance, to the flow. So moving in here was one of those places where I was shown it, and the doors opened, and the doors continued to be opened. And hi Renee. So regardless of my resistance in perhaps moving myself into a more remote place, actually it's turned out to be anything but that. And there is just an amazing group of people around. Interesting, huh? Anyway, we go back to the roses. So when we surrender to the flow, we can see through another lens. That that the more that we come into an alignment within, the more that we work on our own pieces, our stuff. When we work on our stuff, what it brings us into a place is that we can trust, and that we can open up more and more to the flow of what is possible for our lives. And that comes from a heart field. The heart is our attractor factor, and that's what brings us the people and the experiences and the opportunities that allow us to flourish, or allow us to be able to see where we are in our own personal journey. Hi Vicky. I don't know, these rose readings get more and more random, honestly. It's like there is just an ongoing flow of whatever's going on. Anyway, so this place is, what this rose offers is a place for you to actually review where you are in resistance and where you are open to the surrendering, to the bigger picture. The fact that we, having navigated this far, we are now being readied. You know, some people are finding that they're needing to move location. Some people are finding that they're needing to open up to, or reopen up to, something that actually they were very connected to in the past, but to bring it forward into a new way of sharing. These are amazing times if we open up to what we're needing to surrender to, and we can bring all of the threads. There comes a point when we bring all of the threads of our being, our presence, into a wholeness of what we express and what we share in the world. I had a girlfriend that turned up last evening, and she's a multi-talented energy therapist. She's got an enormous number of gifts that she works with. And the challenge was, what hat does she use to describe herself? And yet many of us through our life journeys have studied with various teachers, various modalities, various lineages of light and knowledge. And where do we bring this to, so that what we share is not boxed by the labels, but actually through our knowledge and our experience, we effortlessly weave those different threads together to create a template of change, or a template which actually holds and embraces and holds safe the souls that come to us that are needing that support to let go. So these are powerful, powerful times to fully align with our soul connection. So this is very much connected. This rose for me very much connects into the soul star and the stellar gateway, in that when we expand our energy field up to embrace our individual Akashic record, our individual Akasha, then what we do is we allow for like a pouring down of golden light that actually enables us to be really in the flow of our own lives. It can completely aligned and knowing that we are on track. We are in alignment with our soul, incarnation, template and calling. Anyway, this is Rose Card 1. This is Rose Card 1, this reading. So, Rose Angel 2. If you were drawn to Rose Card 2, here she is, and she is Rose Bagua 4. Now, the Bagua is a series of, it's a feng shui term, it's a series of 9 boxes or 9 aspects of life. This particular rose is really connected into the rose, well, she is the rose of blessings and abundance, prosperity, blessings and abundance. So this is a beautiful rose to align with, and when we look at this, you know, she's gold. I mean, this is her, as a rose. I photographed her at Kew Gardens, and she is a David Austin rose called Golden Celebration. Now, when I'm working with the Bagua, this rose sits on the diagonal to the Rose Bagua 6, which is the seat of helpful friends, those that we co-create with in our lives. And there is a real feeling for me, I've always worked through the diagonals on a Bagua, that actually it is the helpful friends in our lives, those that we co-create with, that we come into connection with, that bring the wealth and blessings. You know, this is a time moving into this frequency of the Aquarian age. You know, the Piscean age was very much about the soul trader, or the doing it on your own. This is not this time. We are asked to collaborate, we are asked to co-create, and from that we offer something that is greater than the sum of the parts. So this rose is an amazing rose that leads us into this sense of effortless abundance, effortless flow. And I love the fact that she's come with a bud. This bud for me is the potential. You know, this is what do you want to open to? Because there's even more that's going to be coming in the potential of this bud that sits alongside you. She is a real beauty and is a beautiful rose to work with. You might want to pop her by your computer or up on your desk as a reminder of this continual opening to abundance and flow. And of course, it's not just the money, is it? It's about feeling very blessed in life. You know, as many of you know, I've had not such an easy journey these last few years, and yet I have managed to find myself in this beautiful cottage, in this amazing place with amazing neighbours, and there is a sense of just this effortless opening that is an invitation. It's an invitation to dance with the fullness of life, and this is what she offers us. When we work with this rose, I mean, you might want to put her under your pillow if you've got the Rose Oracle. You know, this connection to the wealth and blessings in life just magnetizes more of that to us, and that sense of well-being, and that sense that it will be all right. You know, it will be all right. Is there anything else that I needed to tell you about this? Yeah, this frequency of gold that sits on the heart field, which we spoke about in this rose, in this dispensing of these wealth and blessings that then activate heart field. For many of us, the journey to the light has been through the dark, that we've had to have those that have come around us that have taken us into some places that have been really challenging. But it's through those that we grow. It's through those that we find this place of inner mastery. And it's through those that we bring ourselves to this golden light, to this golden blessing that this particular rose offers us. And I'm actually going to read you from the book that goes with the rose deck, because the Rose Bagua, unlike any of the other sets in the Rose Oracle, decided that they were going to come with a 4-line verse. And I'm not a poet or one that normally writes this, but when this Rose Bagua came through, I was living in Devon, and as one of the blessings in the cottage that I was living in, I had an Aga, which was my biggest joy, to be able to go and sit alongside. But when I was working and developing the Rose Bagua, they would wake me up between about 4 and 5 every morning. And the guidance was to go and sit in the kitchen with my back to the Aga, i.e. the fire, and to write. And so this is what this particular rose gave me in front of the Aga in this little cottage in Devon. She says, "I am a golden orb of light. Absorb me. Deep in the unfolding petals there sits the wealth of the world, and somehow it fits that the weaving of time in this greatest of shows creates more wealth in the soul than anyone knows." So these were her words, and if you were drawn to Rose Card 2 today, it may be well worth getting your Rose Oracle and putting a glass of water on her, or if you don't have the Oracle, find a picture on the internet of Golden Celebration and sit your glass of water on her and allow this golden energy to absorb into the water. Right, and if you were drawn to Rose Card 3, we have got Rose Bagua 2. So 2 of the Bagua cards have come up in the reading today, which is really interesting because I've got on Sunday this week, I've got a class here working with the Rose Bagua and creating a rose grid of light, an individual rose grid of light for everybody that comes to take them forward into 2019. Anyway, this rose sits in the area on the Rose Bagua around relationships. So hi Lisa, she is all about the relationships in our lives. So the personal relationships, our intimate personal relationships and our friendship groups. This is a beauty of a rose. Hang on, you're right. I can't read. Ah, wonderful. Thanks, Rachel. I like to offer nectar. This is good. So this rose is she came to me in Italy, in a place called San Ginesio in Italy. I was there on a space clearing consult, and this was growing against the house. Now the house was on a pilgrimage route to Assisi. So it was on the pilgrimage route of St. Francis to Assisi, and there was an olive grove alongside the house, and it was in the olive grove, as I sat and tuned in on the energies, that Mary Magdalene spoke to me. So this is just a stunning, stunning rose to work with. in the Bagua, on the opposite corner, through the heart field, the Tai Chi, the center of the Bagua, the health, vitality center, on the diagonal from this rose is wisdom and knowledge. So when we dive down to find what the root is that brings us to the fulfillment of this particular rose, she says, know thyself, and to thine own self be true. So that the deeper we go into our own story, and for some people into that shadow aspect or unforgiven or unresolved aspect of ourselves, so we can then fully blossom in our connection with others in the world. Our relationships become more healthy, more authentic, and more connected, the deeper and deeper we go into that resource within ourselves. So this is what this rose is calling. She's saying, look within, look within. Is there anything within your heart field that is now calling to be? It's almost like a gardener weeding the garden, isn't it? You know, the roses blossom better. Hi, Clara. Roses blossom better and brighter when we weed the garden. The interesting thing about roses is that the roses blossom better when we put the manure on the roses, and you can look at that whichever way you want to. But the roses, the rose of the heart, flourishes and blossoms with greater beauty, greater perfume, greater magnificence when we allow her to transmute the SHIT of life into fragrance and beauty and blossom. One of the earliest learnings that I had from my grandfather and his rose garden was that he kept a little shovel by the gate to go and get hot manure for his roses. So there is an alchemy. There is an alchemy that is possible when we connect in with the truth that the rose will reveal for us. So there we are. This is a calling deep within ourselves. And again, I will read you the little 4-page verse that came to me as I sat in front of the Aga one morning with this particular rose. And she says, I am stillness, I am wisdom, and I am love. Deep in the rose for all to see, the wisdom, the love, and the power that is me, beautifully wrapped in petals sublime, is the weave and the mystery of the divine. And this is the power of beauty to uplift and to expand our hearts and our connection to life. So many times we can get caught into the struggles and the troubles that we find in our lives, and actually our path is to seek the beauty. And I think particularly as we move into the Festival of Lights, we move to the winter solstice, and we move to this place of the most yin time of year, this place of drawing deep within ourselves. Gives us the opportunity to reflect on our journey this year, gives us the opportunity to see the changes that we've had to navigate our way through, the external changes we've had to navigate our way through, and the internal changes that have had to be honed to meet that has changed in our lives. And I really feel that as we go into 2019, that there will be a pathway opening up for all of us that will take us ever closer to the path of mastery that we came to walk. So yeah, these 3 roses I feel have really offered us an amazing wisdom teaching. This place of surrendering to the journey, surrendering to the flow, seeing with symbolic sight, taking time to look deeper behind the messages that the external world is offering us. Opening out to co-create, to know that there is an abundance and a deeper, deeper blessing and prosperity through the sacred weave that we create when we weave energies with another. And this place of knowing ourselves and to our own selves being true, and knowing that all interactions, all relationships that we may have with our soul groups, our family and our friends, come into an ever, ever clearer alignment when we reveal truly how we feel about something or what's going on for us. There is a truth that then comes through the dynamic. When we speak from the heart, it is received by the heart. So here ends the rosy epistle for today. Oh my goodness, you can't make this stuff up, can you? I hope you've enjoyed the journey with me today. It's been an interesting little journey. I had planned to play the Alchemy bowls, but for whatever reason I haven't got those with me. I've no doubt I shall manage that for the full moon coming up. And oh, thanks, Roberta. Yeah, if I could remember what date they'd said, it would have been wonderful. Oh gosh, crazy, crazy. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. And yeah, new moon blessings, and you know, I look forward to connecting again at the full moon as we make this journey together as we close out this year. So much love and rosy blessings. Bye for now. Bye bye.